Good afternoon, guys. It's Saturday, June 11th. My name is Dave Coker, and this is Talking About Finance, where we just talk about the markets. And let's start off. We're going to start off this evening by looking at the S&P 500 like we always do. But it was such an epic day of days, one for the history books yesterday. And although if you've been watching for a while, you know I say every day in the markets is historic on some level, and that's quite true. But not all are as epic or as in your face as the S&P 500 was yesterday. So look at this. Almost every sector burned. And we're not talking modest losses. We're talking big, big losses. Even stalwarts such Microsoft, Google, Amazon, really getting whacked hard. On the right-hand side, you can see consumer defensive stocks, yeah, sort of doing okay. People are smoking. Philip Morris and other tobacco companies doing okay. Walmart, really interesting that Walmart's doing okay. And in general, we can start to see that this market is really getting banged in a major way. We'll have to see what happens next week. I don't have too much faith that it's going to get much better. In fact, if you read my articles on Medium, I do think in the autumn we're going to have a nasty turn of events with the market. We'll talk more about that overall. So the S&P 500 is down about 5.05% on the week. It's now down about 18.2% year to date. The VIX traded up. It closed the week at 27.75, about one standard deviation above the mean. And remember, guys, some analysts on Wall Street, who I respect and very much, and I know them personally, suggest it's not until we see a VIX north of 40 that we can call an end to this bear market. It's called capitulation, and we ain't seen it yet. 10-year note closed down 3.16%. It's up 1.6% year to date. And yields this high are concerning for equity bulls because a 10-year risk-free return north of 3% is compelling as a destination of capital, especially in these rather exciting times. Oil closed the week at 120.51, up about 1.4% week on week. It's up 60.2% year to date. So the markets were fine until this week. It was until that CPI print came in hot. And now we're hearing all sorts of speculation on the back of it that the Fed is not going to do just 2 50 basis point hikes. They're going to do 4. We won't know until we know. So there's no sense losing any sleep over it. Again, the best thing you can do is to buy yourself some dividend-paying stocks. Then just sit back and relax. Let that wave of cash flow all over you. It's an incredibly peaceful feeling. And you get to hear the shrieks of the damned as they curse themselves for buying piece of garbage stocks that are in literally free fall. I never gloat, and I do try to show people the one true path. It's just that these days, guys, everyone wants to be a trader and everyone wants to make the quick money. Well, in that game, sometimes you win, but more often than not, you lose. It's really that simple. There's no quick way to do these things. So sit back, get rich slowly. It's really the only way to be sure. But if you want to be a millionaire, this is really cool. I can't remember who did this. It's off one of the bank's proprietary research. Check this out. This is right out of the Millionaire Next Door. The most popular way or the most common way to become a millionaire is a business owner. So if you read The Millionaire Next Door, you'll notice that most of the millionaires that they portrayed in their book were in fact the owners of small business. Now they're not really that liquid, but they do have 7 and sometimes 8-figure net worths tied up in their business. Next one is real estate, and the third one is a high-paying office job. Well, guys, and you'll look over here, investments comes in at only 7.1%. Well, what you want to do is stack the deck in your favor. You know I love property. You know I love investments. I got a business. We won't talk about it here. But yeah, you definitely want to be stacking the deck in your favor and try to think what would work for you in order to build wealth. It's really that easy. And again, there's no quick way. You start a business, you're not going to become a millionaire a week, a month, a year after you start it. You might, but that's relatively rare. It's called sweat equity for a reason. And yeah, you got to do it. Oh, this is a good one. This is all over Twitter, my God. Look at Amazon. No, 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 no. Please, it didn't drop $3,285 in one day. Something's messed up with this market overview. It was off Yahoo, I believe. Yeah, you get what you pay for. And remember, Yahoo is free, so be very, very careful about trading based upon any information you find on Yahoo. But regardless, no, Amazon didn't drop over 95% in one day. They split. And it was a 20-for-1 split. So this was actually pretty exciting when people were posting, what's going on with Amazon? And they were all panicking. It's like, my God, how didn't you not know about this? And a lot of these idiots, and again, just privately, they're not listening, but a lot of these idiots call themselves trader. And they've even gotten their Twitter handle, trader. Yeah, okay, sure. I don't know what to say about that. No, you're no trader, really. And here's another one. Now, this was a really good one. A project raises $5 million in Ethernet via an NFT or some other sales when Ethereum was priced at $4,000 each. Once upon a time. Ethereum did a 50% drop. So now you've only got 2.5 million left. You owe taxes, though. You owe $2 million at 40% of your $5 million revenue. So you got 500,000 left. Well, one question I would ask is, why in God's name, when you raise $5 million, are you still leaving it in Ethereum? It doesn't make any sense. Put it into a stable coin, not an algorithmic stable coin, but yeah, definitely Tether, or even go to cash. My God. I make no secret of the fact that I work on my taxes every month. I put about 30 minutes a month in on my taxes, and that is why I get big tax refunds pretty much every year from the United States. Even though I haven't lived there since 1997, I haven't even visited since 2008, but America pays me. That's how you do taxes, my friends. So yeah, this is really wild that people left their money in Ethereum, and then when it cratered, they couldn't afford to pay their taxes. One thing I'll just say though, with the IRS, they're wonderful people. They're very understanding. If you try to avoid this, you're going to have a problem. But if you approach them and own up that you owe these taxes and you don't got the money, they will work out a repayment plan. They're very, very nice people. And hey, guys, I've been there. It's a voice of experience. And I learned, and that's why I work on my taxes every month. I know pretty much where I'm going to be. I take a very conservative view. And then my tax guys move in and they're a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, reckless or engaging, entrepreneurial, right? But yeah, my tax bill typically falls. I like the worst case scenario. And it's interesting to think about that. Oh yeah, this is a really good one, right? Look at the price of electricity in Germany, right? Yeah, well, I used to live in Germany and der Winters in Deutschland ist sehr kalt. They're really cold. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works. Of course, like England, they've got a cap on what retail customers will pay. But ours just went up, and I was really not happy because, you know, I'm cheap. And yeah, it went up, but what can you do, right? All we can do is reduce cost in other areas. And we'll talk more about that next week. I have been aggressively squeezing other providers, right? But yeah, it's really amazing about this, right? So if you're a retail customer in Germany, you won't be paying much, much more. You certainly won't experience all that uplift, but you'll experience an uplift you really won't like. But regardless, guys, remember we talked about becoming rich. And one of the best ways to become a millionaire was to start a business. Well, here you go. Is it recession proof? It kind of looks like it. I don't know about my OnlyFans channel. I'm not getting any business at all. So look me up, guys, or excuse me, gals. Look me up and we'll do an no, I'm just kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans channel. Every now and then I bring that up just to see if it slides through. And about 50% of the time, people are so bored at a meeting, they don't raise a question. And the other 50% of the time, they're appalled. And maybe half of that 50%, maybe 20, 25% of the time, they actually ask me, do you really have an OnlyFans channel? No, I don't. But this is interesting because they're claiming that they're not seeing a slowdown in subscribers. Yeah, maybe, don't know. We'll have to see how this pans out. And keep in mind, guys, this is really interesting. A couple of these retailers now have talked about they've got a huge surplus in stocks. Speculation is this could unleash a deflationary wave. We'll have to see how this plays out, but really, when you're talking about having so much extra stock, 43% in Target's case and 32%, you got to get that. You got to get rid of that stuff. You got to move merchandise. That's working capital that's tied up. So you got to flog it. And as Alan Sugar says, Lord Sugar, pile it high and market cheap and sell that stuff. So we'll have to see what happens. But, you know, we always go back to Bitcoin on this show. Somebody did this as a joke. It was really good. If you can find the shorts on YouTube, people actually bought this. So yes, they paid $2 for a $1 bill, right? I don't know if they just engineered the whole thing. It's entirely possible, but it was funny watching people buy it. Why on earth would you do that? Well, why do people buy piece of garbage stocks that don't pay a dividend? Why do they buy all these weird coins? They're just a simple fork of an existing protocol. Don't know. You know what they said about fools and their money? Yeah, unfortunately it does happen. And we were talking about Bitcoin as a hedge for inflation. And this is the last 2 days of the week. I couldn't, this tool, this is stockcharts.com. The tool wouldn't let me do a single day chart, which is okay, but it's 2 days. And you can see over the 2 days, what we had was, of course, we know we had epic burn off on Friday. Over the 2 day period, gold up 1.23, silver up 52 basis points, Bitcoin down 2.212%, and the S&P 500 down 2.91%. So yeah, Bitcoin's sort of a hedge for inflation. It isn't why I own it, but it isn't down as much as the broad index. So that's a plus in my book, although I just buy. Every Friday I buy Bitcoin. And you know, I've been buying Bitcoin for years. And every now and then I get people gloating, sending me DMs, and they say, oh, you're losing money. Why didn't you sell your Bitcoin when it was at blah, blah, blah? No. I'm aware that Bitcoin tracked above 60,000. I know it's trading at 29 and change now. Guys, I started buying it when it was below $1,000. I've been buying Bitcoin every Friday for years. I really don't worry too much if it goes from north of 60 down to about 30. The volatility is much less reduced. Look at my blog, FinTech Flash News. In the beginning, we used to see swings in Bitcoin well above 80%. So I don't worry about that. Just buy Bitcoin every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Buy Bitcoin. Dollar cost averaging and you'll be fine. Oh, and this was a good one. If you can find it on Twitter. Oh, God, I don't know why people get so upset. But they do. This guy pushed this off, and the TA guys piled in, and they got their compelling arguments. Lots of pretty charts about why Ethereum's going below 1,000. I don't know. I don't have a dog in that fight. I just wonder why people mess with stuff like that. You know, we've seen Ethereum trade to the point where the gas fees were far more than one Ethereum. In other words, if you wanted to buy or sell an Ethereum, you had to pay 100%, well over 100% in fees. And yet people lose sight of the fact that 24/7, Bitcoin's there. Every 10 minutes, new Bitcoin's created. Transactions fly. I bought Bitcoin Friday morning, about 5:50 or 5:45. It was in my Trezor wallet. It was registered on my Trezor wallet less than 2 minutes later. Just like an engine. And that, my friends, is a reliable cryptocurrency. Ethereum's got lots of good stuff. I'm very familiar with the architecture, and I do teach a course where we look at it, but no. The only money I've got in Ethereum is from NFTs that I sold, and I got to look and see what gas fees are these days. I don't know. I got like $4 or $5 grand in Ethereum and from selling NFTs. I didn't pull it out because it would cost me, an Ethereum, 1 Ether to convert the money, to pull the money out. So we'll see what it's trading at now. But yeah, we know Ethereum's new. But sometimes the old ways are the best. And that expression's from a cowboy that I knew in New York called the Rivington School. Ray from the Rivington School. He used to say the old ways are the best, and they certainly are. We'll always have Bitcoin, guys. All right, that's it. Have a great week. It's going to be an awesome week in the markets. If you've got liquidity, start to think about piling in. I'll be buying stocks at the end of the month. I'm using other people's money, dividend income that I picked up throughout the month. I'll be buying stocks. It's the only way to get rich for sure. Take care, guys.